and welcome to the Museum of Texas Tech University's Minutes at the Museum. I'm your host, Discovery Dan. On Minutes at the Museum, we will explore the latest news happenings here at MOTTU and give you the information you didn't know that you should know. Today, we are headed into our galleries to check out our Lubbock Boot Makers exhibit. And here to give us an in-depth look of the life and work of famous bootmaker Willie Lusk is the curator of this exhibit, Dr. Jill Hoffman. Who was Willie Lusk and what did he do?
Well, Dan, Willie Lusk Jr. was a native Texan. He was born in San Angelo and he later moved to Lubbock, where he lived, had a home, raised his family, and had his own very well-respected handmade boot shop. And his boots were worn by all kinds of people, movie stars, politicians, gamblers, high school graduates, even little children in Lubbock.
When and where did Mr. Lusk work?
Willie Lusk had his shop on Avenue A in Lubbock, and it has since been torn down. But he lived and worked in an area that was known as the Flats in Lubbock, which was primarily a neighborhood for African American individuals. He initially worked at Brown's Boot Shop, where he was the foreman, and he later had his own shop where he was owner of the shop and manager. And in both of those situations, at Brown and at his boot shop, it was unusual for the time for an African American to be manager over white individuals. And Lusk had his own shop from the 1940s until 1976 when he passed away.
What makes a Lusk boot so special?
It might be unusual to think of a cowboy boot as a work of art, but that's how I think of these boots made by Willie Lusk. He truly was an artist. His work was exceptional in terms of quality and design. And it's important to remember that these were not machine produced. All of these boots were handmade and they were custom made to the wearer.
That sounds like true artistry. How else could someone recognize a Lusk boot?
The main thing is the stitching. There's a lot of different stitches in boots, but the number 10 stitch is the one that's most closely associated with Willie Lusk. And Lusk is as famous for the number 10 stitch as is one of his employees, a woman named Evelyn Green. And Evelyn did most of the stitching in his shop, but we know that Willie insisted on making the boots for all his celebrity clients, and so he probably did the stitching as well. The number 10 stitch is a flame stitch, and in the Lusk examples we have in this exhibit, they're usually 3 to 5 colors, and so they make a really vibrant, lively stitch.
Dr. Hoffman, why should people know about Willie Lusk?
Willie Lusk is a true Texas and Lubbock treasure. He's an icon. If you wear boots, definitely if you collect boots, you probably already know about Willie Lusk and the beautiful things that he made. I think it's important for Lubbock because he brought attention to our community in a very special way. And for the museum, it's important for us to have a part in telling his story, because this museum is the museum that was given some of the items from his shop. We have stitch patterns, we have some boots, we have his sewing machine, we have the shop counter. We also have some items that were donated to us by Evelyn Green's family because she worked so closely and for so many years with Willie Lusk. I think it's important for this museum to have a part in telling this story, and it's a great honor for us to tell this story because the things that are related to his boots, to his creativity, are a part of our collection, and that's very special to us.
That truly was a special story. Thanks for sharing it with us, Dr. Hoffman. Well, everyone, as you know, boots were made for walking, and that's just what this exhibit will do. So come check it out before it closes here at MOTTU. I'm Discovery Dan, and thanks for tuning in to Minutes at the Museum.